wait, hold up. We've done this before. Let's try something new. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome back to Rage Against the Mainstream, your full spectrum source for all things music, insight, and opinion. Welcome to Season 3.
Season 3.
Today is September 7th, 2020. My name is Bill, and I'm joined here with Connor and Steve.
Yo.
So, how have you guys been doing over our break?
It's been pretty well. Made the commute back from Wichita and back up at the old bowling academy up there.
Well, now you got a reliable, economic, consumer-friendly, family car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the old Honda CR-V 02. Repping the CR-V family over there.
RAV4 gang.
What about you, Connor?
Whatchamacallit? I've been listening to Bush's new album, their 8th studio album, The Kingdom. Might have heard the track Flowers on a Grave on your local modern rock radio.
I have heard that song.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I give Bush props. They were in a little funk there for the past 2 albums, I feel, and things are looking up.
Nice.
Back to their grunge rock roots.
Very good.
No more Mad Love bullshit.
Yes.
That fucking song sucked.
We don't need
Did
any
you
of
guys
that.
hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still got mad love
Yeah,
for you, baby.
Yeah.
My new or interesting isn't music. I know both of you are fully aware of who Eddie Trunk is.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Classic VH1 VJ. VH1 Classic.
And primary inspiration for this particular podcast.
Pretty
with
much.
this
Did
show.
he do that metal show?
Yeah, he was the host.
Yeah.
Well, I found out through searching through podcasts that he does his own podcast.
Oh, yeah.
The Eddie Trunk Show. And it's strictly interviews.
Will say, though, I do not... For me, Eddie Trunk is probably... I don't know. I have to... He's at risk for being canceled.
What do you mean?
He was wearing a Dingbat shirt on one of the... I watched a recent YouTube video of him interviewing somebody, or him getting interviewed by somebody or something, and he's wearing a Dingbat shirt, which is a bar in New Jersey that had like a bunch of like neo-Nazi like metal bands play at it.
Oh, shit.
They said they would cancel the show, and then they just had the show anyway, and then like lied about it and stuff, and he was wearing a shirt for them.
Oh, shit. Well, anyways,
I catch these
that
things.
is crazy. Fucking...
Well, and he made a point to wear it during an interview that he knew was with a popular YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like, he's not on TV anymore, so like...
I mean, it could have been one of those things like he was fucking
Maybe he
making a
doesn't
statement.
know. Maybe he doesn't know because he probably doesn't live in New Jersey. But
No, he does. He lives in Tom's River.
Oh, then he definitely knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his podcast, dude, it's interviews from his Sirius XM show. It's like daily, but most of the time he does interviews.
He's on Sirius?
Yeah. It's he's on Volume. I think it is. The Eddie Trunk shows from 2 to 4 p.m. But like I'm just going to run down like some of the interviews that he has. Lars Ulrich, Robert DeLeo, Neil Sean, Tony Iommi, Gavin Rosdale, Sammy Hagar, Joey Belladonna, Randy Blythe, Mark Morton, Taylor Hawkins, Joe Elliott, Corey Taylor, John Petrucci, Jake E. Lee, Dave Mustaine and Mike Inez, Alice in Chains, Steve Harris, Stone Temple Pilots, Tom Morello, Jerry Cantrell, and dude, the list just goes on. Like,
Yeah,
he just pulls out his fucking
motherfuckers.
Rolodex and's like, "Hey, man, you want to come on my show?" And he posts all of them, dude, and like they're good fucking interviews. And if any of you out there are kind of like looking for an interview where the questions you want asked are asked, this is the kind of thing that you're looking for. However, Eddie, I've made multiple calls to your talent agency and your manager. If you're listening to the show, please respond to my emails, and or your management, please get in contact with me. Another thing that's cool too that I did, Suicide Silence did what they called a virtual world tour, where every night they went into this rehearsal space and live streamed a fucking full-blown show to like you bought tickets for it.
I'm not about that approach at all.
Bro, I spent $10 on a ticket and I got an hour-long show and it was live and it
You
was
can
like
watch
there.
tons of shows on YouTube for free for $10.
Yeah,
You
but
can-
that's-
you can watch Jimi Hendrix in his prime for 2 hours.
But that's going back to like that personal preference thing where, I mean, $10 is $10, granted, and because of the fact that you can go ahead and watch it,
There's been points in time where you could see Suicide Silence for $10.
Of course.
Oh yeah, I've been
But
there.
I'm saying, like, because of what it is, it's kind of just like anything to kind of get you out of the sense of reality, I guess. With
Yeah,
like, what the
I mean,
fuck goes on.
like, dude, it was cool.
What if it replaces real shows?
No, it.
Well, nothing will ever replace
Think about,
the idea of a live show.
Yeah, because even Megadeth and all them that did that fucking stream where it was older, their last big shows,
Yeah.
and they did that. They
No,
already
it was
released
like hidden shows.
Yeah, but they already released dates for 2021 to make up that tour. Like bands
Yeah.
are already doing that shit.
But yeah, I thought it was a cool idea. It was pro shot.
Yeah.
It sounded fucking ridiculous. Multi-camera angles, everything.
Yeah, that's
And it was cool. I mean, I opted to
$10 isn't terrible.
well.
No.
The way I look at it is, it's
You
like
could
a
have
movie.
paid $25 and got a shirt too.
Yeah,
I
And it's
didn't opt for
also-
the shirt.
Yeah.
and it's also
I
like a
would've-
movie. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like if you're gonna go to the
Honestly,
movie
that's
theater,
not bad.
Yeah.
$26 for the shirt. That's
Yeah.
you're basically just paying for the shirt, but like $26 for basically like a tour shirt isn't bad.
Yeah, and like I said, virtual world tour and all the dates. They did it through this app called Band is in Town. And originally when they started it, they were geomapping your location, so like you could only watch the Philadelphia show like if you were in like the Philadelphia area.
oh wow, and that's actually cool because if you think about that with the virtual dates on it, that shirt might be worth something in the future.
Dude, it was cool. I'm
depending
pissed
on
I
the
didn't
band,
buy
dude.
it.
Yeah. Like 20, 30 years from now, people are going to be like, wow, you were around during that virtual time. Like,
Yeah.
especially with technology. Like,
It
this
sucks because I caught it late though. I caught it late because the Philadelphia date had already come and passed. I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And I watched on like the Barcelona date or the Brazil date.
So you watched out of your network?
Yeah, because at some point, I guess they have a really fucking opinionated fan base or something where they're like, listen, this geomapping shit sucks. Like, due to time zones, I can't see you guys, whatever. And they just opened it to everybody. It was live streamed. It was pretty cool. I mean, it's one of those things to where, like, we talked about it before. Like, in a perfect world, we would just go see the show. Like, it would be no different than normal life. But to be able to get something that's, you know, quote unquote, like fresh and new
Yeah.
in the comfort of your living room.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I said,
I liked
it's
it.
the
I thought
same-
it was cool.
It's the same context as a movie. Like when a movie comes out, you could wait a couple of days and go on the water twig.
exactly.
But just to go to the movie theater and have like a planned event, like just to kind of get that vibe back.
Yep.
I mean, I can see where that comes, and especially with the shirt.
Nicole wasn't a giant fan.
Yeah.
The water twig still gets me. That shit's funny.
The water
Did you guys make up water twig?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill.
Water twig and Lodi.
Because I almost said the other one, and then we had the.
Are we not allowed to talk about the real water?
I think
twig?
it.
Well,
keeps
we
it-
don't want anyone to
Yeah.
know that we condone in the activities of the people that sail the seas
Whatchamacallit,
with eye patches.
Yeah, the pirates. I've seen South Park. I've seen what happens when you download music illegally.
twig is an underused word in the American vernacular.
Well, I guess we figured like
It's a cool word.
opposites of what water is and
People
twig
just use
is.
stick now. Stick is
You know what's another one? Plank.
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 Could have
is
said the water
underused.
plank. Yeah.
Plank
Water
reached
branch.
its peak when Ed, and Eddie was around.
Yeah.
Plank.
Yeah.
Where's Plank?
On this day in music history,
1963. Eric Eazy-E Wright, member of NWA, founder of Ruthless Records, executive producer, is born in Compton, California.
Huh.
I mean,
Boys in the hood are always hard.
yeah, I mean,
Your
NWA is like tight. Like, I mean, like they pissed me off with some of the lyrics, I guess, but like,
Yeah, I feel that.
it's just, I mean, they were clearly groundbreakers. They've done more than I'll do, so can't talk too much shit unless they're not pedophilic, so.
Well, 1978, speaking of what Connor just said, arguably one of the best rock drummers of all time, Keith Moon of The Who, Dies at age 32 after overdosing on medication that is supposed to help him overcome alcoholism. What a fucking contradiction that is.
That sucks.
Sir,
Like, he was
probably
trying to
gonna
do the right thing.
Yeah, sir, you're probably going to die of liver failure. You should take these meds. These will save your life. Those are probably the words that were said to him at some point before he started taking those meds. You gotta get off the booze, Keith.
Yeah, you're just not supposed to overdose on your fucking medication.
But I'm wondering what it could have been, because like, what could I don't know.
I mean, we're talking
probably
1978.
like
So there wasn't.
methadone or something.
Yeah, but like
Probably.
at that point in time, like, I mean, they knew at least enough to not give you opiate-based drugs for fucking alcoholism. I mean, it's just I would be curious to know exactly what he took, because it's like, unless he was just really fucked up and was still drinking and just like took a bunch of them,
Yeah.
Maybe.
like thinking, you know.
Did you hear about Keith Moon at the bar the one night where he killed the dude?
Nah. Oh, I think I read something about that.
He went to like a local bar with like a friend or something to pick up girls and like bring them back to his mansion or whatever and party. And he was just like throwing his money around at some like local pub, and he was pissing off like the regulars, I guess, with his outlandish behavior. And he got pretty much ran out of the bar, and then there was like an angry mob like throwing he ran over his chauffeur. He sent his chauffeur out to do something about the mob, and then they started beating the shit out of him, I guess, and then he like ran over the chauffeur, like escaping.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Fucking idiot.
guy died. Should have known better than to get involved with Keith Moon.
In 1987, however, Pink Floyd released A Momentary Lapse of Reason. It's their first album without founding member Roger Waters.
I
Yeah.
never listened to it, but I pretty much always got the impression it was a giant piece of shit.
Yeah,
I've never
a lot
listened
of
to it
people
either.
that have like the whole like Gilmore Waters type perception, and I'm telling you right now, even people I know that like are a strong fan
need
of
both of
David
them.
Gilmour, even
exactly.
this
They
album,
both kind of suck without the other one.
they really do. I
Yeah.
mean, everything after Roger Waters left was just not good.
But like Roger Waters' solo stuff is like not that good either.
Not that
It's
great.
Funny.
Yeah, like Pink Floyd
you need the whole group.
experience is literally what it is. Because even when you go see them, you don't even really feel like you get like a feel for it. But I still know like I'm not seeing Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know you're talking
You
about.
need both of them. Like that's 100% true. You need both of them to really get the vibe. And even just like the early on stuff, like when Syd Barrett left, you could honestly like Saucer Full of Secrets. He was kind of on it, and then when they progressed into Metal and Obscured by Clouds and everything else before Dark Side.
Yeah.
I mean that was like Pink Floyd. Like once Syd Barrett left, you got to see Pink Floyd, and then after Roger Waters left, it was just you couldn't do it.
There wasn't enough left.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, the Beatles, like once John Lennon died, you knew there was just never going to be a legit Beatles reunion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
You just
another
can't
band
do it
that's-
without like a key
yeah.
figure like that.
I think too in that case, like, because you had two prominent figures, they probably really thought they could carry it on.
With
Like,
George
that's just the
and
same thing
Paul
like the
and
Doors
Ringo.
when they kept trying to go on
Oh
with Jim
my God.
Moore or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
But,
Shameful.
that was just exactly. But I think with them, it was harder for them to accept it because like they still had Mason and Gilmore.
It would have literally
Yeah.
been like if Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl threw like Dave Pierner up there or some shit. We're just like, let's keep it going.
However, though, in later years, they've done worse.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't like how casual they've gotten with the
the guest stars and
milking
shit.
the Nirvana
Yeah.
surviving member like appearances
Don't
and
like
shit.
that.
Yeah, like
not
at the
a
Rock
fan.
Hall, it was all right. Even
That was
Sandy with
understandable.
Paul McCartney, it was kind of just like it was like they were just breaking the ice or whatever by getting Paul McCartney. It was like, all right, no one will care since we got Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
But then it'd be
exactly.
like you had to do that.
Yeah.
But then it just opened the door for them to do it a lot.
Oh, Dave can do nothing wrong.
No, I'm pretty much over Girl here. I saw a rare edition of Wasting Light that came in a jewel case, and I was very tempted because the paper cases are very fragile, and I passed.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was
I remember-
Like, it was
remember-
like, damn, that sounds sweet.
Well, I remember when that CD came out, me and you bought them.
Yeah, we both
And when
bought it on
you-
the same. I still have yours. You gave it to me. I'll give it back if you want it.
When you
It's
bought
beat to
that
hell.
CD, dude, when you bought the
I left it on your dad's hood outside.
Oh, yeah,
in the
I remember
rain.
that.
And you were like, "You can have mine. I don't really care about the CD." Yeah.
when you bought that, when it first came out, when you bought it, you got a tape, like a piece of the tape from the master tape.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like that was like cool. It was like Dave Grohl touched this.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Dave Grohl touched this.
He was in the room with this, at least.
Yeah. It was at least on his property.
I mean, I touched a Dave Grohl drumstick from Nirvana one time. It was broken in half.
You still touch a Dave Grohl drumstick, though. That's more than any of us could really say.
Carrie fucking Bob
I was just going to
Stinson
say that's
amp
actually
out the
probably
band.
more,
Yeah.
I would appreciate that more than the drumstick.
Tommy Stinson, dude.
He recorded Let It Be with
Tommy
that
Stinson,
shit.
dude.
7 years later, in '94, Weezer released their breakthrough single "Buddy Holly," named for the rock and roll icon on what would have been his 58th birthday. It's featured on the band's debut album, also known as the Blue Album.
Bam, bam, knock on the door.
I've always liked Buddy Holly. I thought it was a cool song.
Yeah,
I love
I
the
like
video.
the Blue album.
It's a good single, too.
Blue album's
Yeah.
all I can
Blue album's good.
fuck with Weezer anymore.
Yeah, for a full album, that's the only one I can completely digest.
Pinkerton
Even Pink,
is
I was
weird.
just going to
Yeah,
say.
I'm over Pinkerton.
And Green Album is just the sign of the decline.
And it's like, it's not.
Have you heard any of the new Weezer?
Van Weezer, bro.
Dude, I'm not a giant fan.
I haven't
It's
listened to
so
bad,
anything
dude.
Weezer put
That
out.
song
in
called,
about
like, The
10
Hero
years.
or something.
You know what's
It
even
sucked.
funnier? Like, for them
terrible.
to be, as notable as they are, and I follow a shitload of music pages that post anything from, like, what you hear on the radio down to, like, shit that people probably will never know existed.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a thing about Weezer ever. It wasn't until my girl said, somebody at work was like, yo, Weezer's coming out with this new album. Do you listen to them? And she was like, I guess, kind of. And he showed her this album. So she was like, you have to fucking hear this shit. Because she was blown away with how stupid it sounded because she gets it. And I'm fucking taking a shit listening to Van Weezer. And I'm like, this can't be serious, dude. This is a real album, like, coming out on
Yeah.
the horizon. And
They lost me at Pork and Beans.
yeah,
That was
dude,
the last half decent album.
I
That was 08.
That was Hurley, right?
Red album.
Red Album.
Red Album, yeah. Yeah, not a fan. Blue Album is... They're like Green Day for me, I guess you could say.
I like Insomniac and Nimrod.
Yeah, Dookie, though, everything after that, I mean, what other albums are there that you can fully digest?
Insomniac and Nimrod.
Both of them?
Yeah, I like both of those.
Yeah, see, I can't.
I don't fuck with Warning. Don't fuck with American Idiot.
Yeah.
Obviously, nothing after American Idiot.
Yeah.
But
For real.
those three are alright. Like the first two, like 39 Smooth and Kerplunk, they're alright. But I would honestly take like Insomniac over both of those. And Nimrod is pretty good too. Give it another listen, man.
I'm not a fan.
All right, later on in the 90s, in 1996, sad day for music, rap star Tupac Shakur is shot 5 times in a drive-by following a boxing match in Las Vegas. I think it was actually Mike Tyson. He died
It
6 days later at age 25. Gone too soon.
Gone way too soon. He still had at least 2 more albums in
Oh,
him.
at least.
He literally had one more done.
Yeah.
Machiavelli.
Yep.
Now, do we feel like fucking Puff Daddy had anything to do with this, or was it fucking Suge? I don't want to get in a full-blown discussion.
I think it was the
because-
government.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you feel?
I prefer not to talk on the subject.
So he pretty much thinks it's the government.
I can't confirm or deny this answer.
Yeah. What do you think, Bill?
I don't know, man. It's too coincidental.
There's the Bloods, the Crips thing. There's fucking...
Yeah, I think it's bigger than the music industry.
Yeah, I think
There's
it's bigger than music
There's
industry.
the government aspect where he was like trying to bring back the Black Panther like attitude. There was the and then there was the East West Coast Biggie Puff Daddy shit. So
I think Puff Daddy's too much of a bitch to actually fucking call out a hit on somebody.
supposedly they did it the other time. They like supposedly that's like known. I think that
That it was Puff?
the first time that Tupac got shot, like after like before like Who Shot Ya and shit.
Oh, shit.
Like that apparently was like them, but I don't think it was them like that killed him in Vegas.
Nah,
I don't think any of them were in Vegas.
probably
But
not.
like I
don't think
remember, it's funny, little off topic, but I remember Wu-Tang. I saw an interview with I think Method Man, and he was saying how they were in California like right after Tupac died for some reason, and like they didn't think anything of it because like they were just kind of removed from the East West Coast thing because like Method Man's the only rapper to be on a Tupac and Biggie album featured.
so. Oh, yeah.
Whatchamacallit, Redman was on with on Tupac shit. So like they get out there, they're just trying to have fun in fucking Malibu or whatever, and someone they knew, I forget who it was, like bumps into them and they're just like, "Yo, I hope you're watching your back. Like you guys are East Coast. Like fucking Pac just got killed. Like you know what I mean? Like
That's fucking nuts.
And they were like, damn, it's like that. Like well shit. Like we wouldn't be thinking about killing you guys in fucking New York." Like,
That's funny.
something like that. I was like, damn, it must have been crazy back then. And that's even for Wu-Tang, who really never like talked trash on any like West Coasters or anything.
Yeah.
Like Wu-Tang definitely had respect for Tupac.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of respect, or the lack thereof, in 2000, Rage Against the Machine bass player Tim Comerford interrupts the MTV Music Video Awards when he climbs up the backdrop on the stage, baffling the crew as well as Limp Bizkit, who are accepting the Best Rock Video Award for Break Stuff. Rage was nominated for the category for Sleep Now in the Fire.
Well, I mean, that is kind of bullshit that Limp Bizkit beat Sleep.
I would have been pissed too.
Yeah.
That fucking video was awesome.
Yeah.
Props to
and
Tim for doing that.
honestly, yeah.
Shout out.
I
That
heard
goes to
that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I heard that was the impetus for fucking Zach De La Roca leaving.
Really?
Which doesn't seem legit.
No.
I mean, that could be a factor because that goes a lot more into actually what happened if you figure just how fucking corrupt just award shows can be.
That's true.
That you're going to tell me right now that honest fan bases will say Break Stuff is better than Sleep Now in the Fire.
Well, no, that was because
fucking-
fucking Limp Bizkit was the shit, or
But that's just
put
like,
out to be the
that's,
shit.
That's
at
the
that
same
point
thing
in
as like a
time.
populist candidate in politics. You know what I mean? That's all
Yeah.
that was happening at that period of time. But what has obviously lasted longer in the sake of being able to judge music, because at the end of the day, guarantee you a stronger population will pick Rage over Limp
Limp
Bizkit.
Bizkit is like the
100%.
third most hated band after The Obvious too.
Yeah.
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 Like after Creed and Nickelback, it's like Limp Bizkit.
You know, I will give it to Limp Bizkit. There is a couple songs I can get down
I'm not gonna
with.
lie, I don't mind My Way because I grew
Yeah.
up with it. Like it's
Rollin'.
just nostalgia.
I honestly
Rollin'. Yeah, the
think-
stuff from Chocolate Starfish came out when I was at that age.
Exactly.
When I
You know
was,
what's
8
funny,
years
though,
old.
about that?
It sounded cool.
There's a lot of songs that the same thing, like I hold on to that people will find unfavorable, but because of hearing it when I heard it in my childhood, I like. Limp Bizkit like never grew on me, so by the time it actually became popular, I just hated that people liked it because I hated the song and it made
Yeah.
it worse. It never like actually grew on me to enjoy it.
Well, I know you'll be loving this
Yeah,
shit
like
right here.
I couldn't. Like I always liked the Beastie Boys when I was a kid, so when I heard this, it was like you're really just
Limp
this is just
Bizkit
trying to like be a fucking tough dude.
Kind of makes more sense if you like live in the South for a while.
Yeah,
Because it's like you could just see a bunch
Okay.
of people you know making music like this.
I would take Kid Rock over Limp Bizkit
Oh yeah.
About the same for me.
if I had to choose.
Would you,
Gun was on my.
you would
head.
choose Chocolate Starfish over fucking Devil Without a Cause?
It's about the same.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm more partial to Devil Without a Cause.
Yeah, I just have a really bad taste for Limp Bizkit in general. Just it's not.
Fredger's just
See,
a
I-
fucking douche.
I hate the Sweet Home Alabama where
Well, that killed. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't
Rock,
really
man.
like Kid Rock either. But I'm saying if it came down to it, dude.
Well, they never shut the fuck up with that song when it came out.
Oh my
Like,
God,
it was
dude.
brutal. Like it was like I don't think I ever remember a song that just got more cross format.
Yo, that
total
shit-
beat
Every
into the
fucking
ground.
That
radio
shit, as a
station.
small kid where I
Yeah.
couldn't really comprehend music, like fuck with my equilibrium because I'm like, this isn't the right song. Every time I came
Yeah.
on, I was like, that's not the song. What the fuck is this?
That's funny.
It's fucking with me right now. Yeah, this shit I couldn't process as a small child.
It was too much. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
Right when I first started driving, this fucking stupid song was just all over the radio. Every time I hear it, I'd be like, God damn it, I don't want to be driving and people looking at me like, oh, he's listening to that stupid fucking Kid Rock song.
He must be a douchebag.
I'm like, no, turn it off.
Going slightly forward in time to 2001, the movie Rockstar, starring Mark Wahlberg as a lead singer of a tribute band who ends up joining his favorite group, hits theaters. A bunch of musicians are in it, including Zach Wilde, Stephen Jenkins, the Third Eye Blind, and Brian Vander Ark of the Verve Pipe, whose song "Colorful" Wahlberg lip syncs at the end of the film.
Freshman.
Have
Is
either
that
of you
the
guys seen this
song-
movie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the song he's doing acoustically?
Yeah,
With
the
his
very
fucking
I saw it a
old
long time ago.
dude. That I'm not gonna
remember
be
you
like,
used to love it.
dude. I still love this movie. It's still on my phone.
This movie is like I put it up there with like every Wahlberg film, like
Well-
Invincible, for instance. Like I can watch those movies, but I don't get like like it's not like Rudy for me.
Well,
It
do you know the
doesn't fucking
backstory
hit.
on this movie and actually
Four
where it
Brothers
came
was
from?
the bomb.
Tim Owens?
Yeah, this
Ripper.
movie was supposed to be like strictly about like Judas Priest and Ripper Tim Owens.
Yeah, Tim the Ripper Owens, who actually was the singer for Rising Force. And I don't know if he still is Yngwie's band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it was. He was in a Judas Priest cover band.
Yeah,
I forget
and,
what the name
like,
of the band was too.
During the whole like fucking like duration of the filming of this movie, like they're like, yeah, this is gonna be about you guys. It's gonna be about you guys. Fucking blah blah blah. And at the end, they was like, nah, sorry, it's not about you guys at all. And we
It's
got
the same
Zach
exact
Wild.
story. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
totally different.
But there is like a lot of musicians in this fucking band in this movie.
Yeah.
Jason Bonham plays for like the actual band.
Well, you said Zach Wild's in it, right?
Yeah, it's funny the way that it works out. So Wahlberg is the singer of the tribute band. The tribute band has
Yeah.
Jason Brian Vander Ark. Yeah, he's the bass player.
Yeah.
The drummer is, I think, Blaze Elias from the band Slaughter from California. And the guitar player, the one's an actor, and then the other one is Nick Cantonese from Black Label Society. Now, the people they're portraying is Nick Cantonese is playing the Zach Wild part, which is funny because they're both in Black Label Society. Blaze Elias from Slaughter is playing the Jason Bonham part, and the other guitar player is just both actors. The bass player, Verve Pipe or whatever, he's playing the part of Jeff Pilson from Dokken. Like the actual band Steel Dragon in the movie is like made up of like really ridiculously good fucking musicians,
Yeah.
and the soundtrack's incredible.
Yeah.
Like they're no original songs; they're all written. Like I think one of them's a Sammy Hagar song, but to hear like Jason Bonham and Zach Wild on a song together, like that's fucking insane. And the singer that actually did the recordings is I forget his name, but he's from the band Steelheart. And yeah, I still have these songs on my phone. I have the movie on my phone. I watch it.
Shout.
Stand up and shout. Dude, it's a fucking good movie. Oh, and little cameo, Michael Starr from Steel Panther. He's the guy that's doing the vocal audition when Wahlberg walks in.
Oh yeah.
Like, and he's like horrible, and it sounds like
Yeah.
a really bad David Lee Roth. It's
Yeah.
actually the dude from Steel Panther.
Okay. Yeah,
But-
I remember that.
Yeah, one of my. I'm not gonna say one of my favorite movies,
It's
but
just
it's definitely a good watch.
That's what I was saying. It's
an
one
after
of
school
those
special.
movies where if it's on, like I'll watch it, but I never like. I don't put it up there in an upper echelon by any means. But like I said, like Invincible, for instance, my dad is all about like the replacements, Invincible, Rudy
yeah.
and stuff. But I
Oh,
put
he
Rudy.
really likes Invincible.
He does, but he
Probably
likes
just
it.
remembers the Papali story.
Of course, yeah. And he's been an Eagles
yeah.
fan his whole life. So, I mean, just growing up, I mean, to see that movie come out and be pretty much around the same time frame he was born and understanding it from that perspective. But like Rockstar for me is like in that same category where if it's on, I'll watch it. It's just one of those ones you can have on while you're doing something and like not really have to focus to it. 'Cause, like
Exactly.
every part's just, it's like The Wedding Singer in a sense of not being as much of a comedy. Like you can just
Yeah.
watch it without having to feel like I have to sit down and
Well, if
fucking
you've
watch
seen
this
it a
whole movie.
million times.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, It's just one of those fun watches.
That movie's also the first time I ever heard "Stranglehold" by Ted Nugent.
Oh, what?
Invincible?
No, fucking.
Wait,
is it in that movie
Rockstar.
too?
Yeah, it's in Rockstar.
Because it's in Invincible.
Is it?
In this slow motion scene where he recovers
so
this fucking
funny.
kickoff, and he's like running down the field, and it gets slow motions.
Did you like Four Brothers? Dude, Four Brothers.
I
was the
did when I
bomb.
first saw it, and now
I have
as I
to watch
continue
it.
to watch
Have
it,
you seen it?
No, I've been
think
told I have to
Tyrese
watch it.
Gibson.
I think that's what I say. Tyrese Gibson's
Andre
excellent.
3000.
What's her face? The Spanish woman. What's her name? Who's
I haven't
Tyrese
seen it in a
Gibson's
while.
fucking
Oh,
girlfriend?
She's from Too Fast, Too Furious.
And Modern Family.
Eva Mendes. No, Sofia
no.
Vergara.
Sofia Vergara. Yeah.
Sofia Vergara.
thought
She's
it was Eva
Tyrese Gibson's.
Mendes.
But that
Lucky for
movie,
him, dude. Good for him.
In that, yeah.
It's a
Playing
good
that.
movie.
Yeah, that movie
There's
though.
other people in it. I gotta watch it again.
Wahlberg's too Wahlbergy, if that makes any sense.
I fuck with
In my
Wahlberg. No
opinion.
shit.
No, it makes sense because we just did a basement box office episode of like actors that like will forever be known for like one thing.
Typecast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wahlberg is like that actor where it's like he's Wahlberg in every movie. Like a Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
You know where I would like to see
you know,
Wahlberg
Or like a Vin
pop
Diesel.
up
Where?
in the upcoming Mallrats 2. I know it won't happen, but I think that would just be hilarious.
That'd be funny.
All right, so fast forwarding even more slightly in time, Michael Jackson in 2001 plays the first of 2 concerts at Madison Square Garden as part of his 30th anniversary tribute. Performers honoring Jackson include Slash, NSYNC, and Britney Spears. The concerts are edited and airs as a special on CBS.
How bad does it pain you to say his name?
No, I don't mind Michael Jackson. I came back around a little. I watched Finding Neverland and I was on some shit with Michael Jackson, but I don't know. I don't think it's cut and dry that he did it. So I don't know. Do you think he did it?
Well, I
was listening to. I listened to Dangerous today.
I saw a meme that was like, I mean, obviously you got to take that shit with a grain of salt, but it does make you think. Is that he was like protecting kids, if that makes sense. Like the whole like Pizzagate scandal shit that's going on now, like he was on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Whatchamacallit?
To like make the Hollywood elite think that he was part of their fucking group.
My thing is, I've just never seen anything clear in one direction either way, and he was a very rich person, so all it takes is for one person to say like, my kid was over his house a bunch of times. We could fucking lie and say he did this, and the kids coach the kid and get a shit ton of money out of this.
Yeah.
And like,
he made Thriller.
Yeah, it's just I haven't seen anything totally clear in one way or the other. I know the one dude from Finding Neverland, this was especially what made me actually come back around from Michael Jackson, was that the dancer dude was like discredited.
Really?
Like, he lied for publicity in Finding Neverland. He like went right back the other way, I'm pretty sure, after that movie came out, and like disavowed everything he said in it or something, I think.
What a fucking asshole.
So the whole movie was just a giant waste of fucking time then, because he was like the centerpiece pretty much in the story.
That's some bullshit.
So you're saying it'd be okay for your kids to sleep in his bed? Ew! Fuck no! He made Thriller.
Yeah, but
he
no
made
one.
Thriller.
I'm not letting my kids sleep in bed with any grown fucking man just because it's like not necessary.
It was a Chappelle skit.
Motherfuckers can sleep on the goddamn floor. They're
It
little,
always-
they can handle
I was
it.
just referencing
One
the
damn
Chappelle skit.
day.
No,
Like,
the best Michael Jackson
whatever.
reference is in like South Park. Mr. Jameson lives next door.
Mr. Jefferson.
Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Jefferson.
Not a signal.
Whatchamacallit?
He's black! I thought you said he was black. He pull up at his house. His mustache falls off.
Oh no, blanket.
God, that's such a good fucking funny shit.
Last thing here in music history is a little bit ago, 2018. Mac Miller, worldwide rapping sensation, died at 26 of an apparent drug overdose.
I was never that crazy about Mac Miller.
I never liked him that much. I thought he was all right.
It's not him, really. It's the production choices.
Well,
I just don't
yeah.
like the background music.
I was going to
really.
say, right actually before he died, I never really got into Mac Miller. And it was ironic that I just stumbled upon something good by him, like right before this happened. You know, like NPR does those tiny desk sessions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was just going through, like, you know, I clicked on one, and the suggested videos, it kept
Probably gonna
popping
be
up.
like his unplugged.
There was a Mac Miller of NPR Tiny Desk session, and I got to hear like a stripped down version of, you know, because like the Roots were on there,
I think Weezer
Boss
did
of the
it.
People was on there, Florence and the Machine was on, Pixies did it, but it was like new Pixies. So
I don't mind New Pixies.
it
They're not
wasn't
as good.
Yeah,
but
it was a good watch, but it didn't give me the same thing.
I
But
will say on that one album, Head Carrier, there is a very disturbingly similar song to Where Is My Mind on it. But,
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, that Mac Miller Tiny Desk session was actually really good. And then because of that same thing, I went and listened to his studio work, and I think it was just like the production quality and the, you know, obviously the way they set up the sounds is just wasn't the same. But because you get to see a stripped down version of it, I think I appreciate it a little more, like going and actually listening to his discography. And then this happened. It was just weird. Like I remember thinking about it, like, yo, that's really fucking weird. Like I've known his name. Never really listened to him. Then I actually gave him an honest listen, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
I never really super got into him. Like obviously after he died, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
you know, I'll do my respects. And
I
I'll
wouldn't
listen.
say I don't like him. I just don't, I couldn't tell you one of his songs.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
It's just not my bag. I don't know. Kind of after.
Kind of done with white boy rappers, honestly.
There hasn't been a good one in a while.
ever.
So as we mentioned before in talking about Limp Bizkit, it's kind of paralleling into the main topic of what we would like to discuss here in our revamp season 3. Like toxic fan bases, because when we talked about Limp Bizkit, I told specifically one of the reasons why I couldn't get into them is because already the mass majority that enjoyed them made it worse for me to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even just listen to the music without having to be, oh, have you heard the new album? Did you listen to this song yet? And have to hear it repetitively on every single person's fucking Walkman, no matter what kind of, like, when the LG chocolates were out and people could actually play music directly off their fucking phones, I gotta hear, rolling. Like, it got...
And that shit was way before chocolates.
But I'm saying people were already big into those songs that were our age, and when those phones came out, people didn't really have any other music to really go on at that point in time.
Not gonna lie,
Tool's fan base always.
Well, that's what I was gonna bring up to be the first fan base, because I'm a huge fan of Tool, because I listened to Tool with a lot of people that hated fucking Tool.
Yeah.
Like my friend Pat, my friend Worm, my friend Joe, like all hated on me for liking Tool. And, like, Tool kind of became a band that I almost wouldn't admit that I liked for a long period of time because, like, I fucking got made fun of every time I wanted to play a Tool song anywhere I fucking went. So then I was, like, thinking, like, and, like, this is where I couldn't understand it because, like, you could sit there and say, like, if you like Nickelback, that's, like, almost a broad range. And it's, like, I liked the band and couldn't figure out why other people fucking hated it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
They
never
just
really
didn't like the
understood why
music.
people didn't like Tool. I mean, like, I'm not, like,
It's
the
just-
biggest Tool fan, but
It's
I
like
do enjoy
rehearsed anger.
But this is it. This is the reason why a lot of people fucking hate Tool. And I'm not going to put names out there, but I have a friend, and I went and saw Tool last or 2 years ago with him, and he's that typical fan. I, to this day, and I've been friends with him quite some time, have no fucking clue what he listens to outside of Tool. I have no fucking clue. Because anytime he talks about music, somehow it's just about Tool. And I have another friend who I'm trying to get into Tool. But me and this other friend are both trying to get him into Tool. And I have this Tool fan, legitimate Tool fan, trying to press an artist on somebody, but he's doing it the Tool way. And dude, it's like, that's not... I try to tell him all the time, like, you can listen to Undertow. That's like very 90s... Deftones, what that became type music. You know what I mean? They really started to break through into a genre style.
Oh, yeah,
Opiate
absolutely.
Especially. And then Enema was a complete, like, almost 180 from their sound. And they built upon that with Lateralis. And it's good music. But then, like, the whole math rock thing started. And all those fans came out of there where they're trying to treat this music as this ethereal, like, fucking holy awakening of, like, you're not intelligent if you don't understand Tool. And that ruins it for me.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. I agree with
that's
that.
a good way
Yes.
to put it.
Fucking ruins it for me, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I just like their songs. Like, I don't know. Like, I just enjoy their songs. And I think Tool's pretty fucking good.
What really sucks though is when you have a band like Green Day, who like they have a like total teeny bopper like joke fan base pretty much. I'm not saying it's like a joke when like kids get into music and the thing that gets them going with it is Green Day. I'm just saying they take themselves kind of seriously in a punk rock sense, but then like cater to almost like punk rock, like Disney bullshit.
Yeah, they really
exactly.
got fucking shredded
So
by
like
the fan base.
when you have that like fostering of like a bullshit fan base by the band, and then they're still taking themselves like seriously is what gets me.
Well, because you got to think too, getting into music. I remember like looking at the documentary about like the behind the music of Metallica, and like I remember forget the one guy's name who was talking about when Kill 'Em All came out, and he looked at the back of the LP and he was like, "This is why I'm buying this album." Like he was sick and tired of the glam metal scene, so all these guys just no makeup, crusty as fuck. And then I think about like Connor when you looked at like Nevermind and you saw that picture of the three of them, and you're like, "Yo, these guys are fucking cool."
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing when you're getting into music and you know a fan base is behind it that's already like notoriously known for being, tools, douchebags, whatever you want to call them. Like another band is Ghost.
Well,
Ghost really puts on a pedestal of being part of like I have to see on like old school metal fan pages, thrash metal fan pages, and all shit, and someone will post a Ghost thing, and I'm like, to me, every single person that I've generally met that likes Ghost won't listen to what's typically posted on those pages. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like,
see what you're saying.
They'll listen to Ghost, but then the second artist under that will probably be Drake or Katy Perry or something.
Yeah.
Most fans of that band.
Now, this is where I have to disagree with you to an extent.
Okay.
Because I enjoy Ghost. I'm not like fucking like I don't follow like the Pop Emeritus or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
All that other bullshit. There is particular songs that they have that I do like. I bought Meliora when it fucking came out and it got nominated for a Grammy because I heard that song fucking Cerise and I was like, this is actually a really good fucking song.
Yeah.
I saw them when they played MMRBQ. I think they're a pretty good band. However, I feel like their fan base is kind of like the fucking weird kids when we were in high school that wore like trip pants and shit.
Yeah.
And like, this is almost like a band that kind of caters to them, but they're not heavy like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, the way I classify Ghost is like a heavier Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
They're not like a super heavy band, but you have like the fucking goth weirdo kids that are like, oh, Ghost, popular,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. I do feel like those type of fans ruin that fucking band. Because
you
I
see,
feel like
like-
if people took them serious,
Yeah.
people would actually
But see,
enjoy them.
specifically when you said, because like I knew you liked them when I brought them up, because like that kind of sets the tone for like also too like the differences when we talk, especially in the metal genre of like fan bases and what's preferred and not. Because you're more into like the metalcore scene. You like some with the cleaner vocals. You like with the more technical, like polished guitar tone, the breakdowns and stuff. Where it's like I kind of track back to like the '90s earlier death metal sound of like Morbid Angel and Carcass and stuff like that before Heartwork, all that shit. So like for me, the reason why I bring them up as a fan base is because I'll tell somebody, like if I'm meeting, so, like, oh, you know, music, whatever, I listen to a lot of metal or whatever, and especially if I mention death metal or metal in general, someone will think like Ghost is like that first thing to ask me if I like, because to them that's heavy to them.
I don't even understand how.
That's what I'm saying.
People are
And
fucking
I've been
stupid.
like when me and my girl
like-
were out there one time, same thing happened to her. She was like saying specifically, like telling somebody she was in like metal music, especially death metal. He was like, "Oh, so you listen to Ghost?" And it's like that's the first band you can ask me I listen
Yeah,
to.
They're
exactly.
like less heavy than Bush.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bush is
I'll
more
agree with
intense
that.
I think
than
16
Ghost.
Stone was way
Yeah.
heavier
More
than
energy.
anything
Was
I heard
16
from
Stone
Ghost.
heavier than Meliora?
Whatchamacallit.
Tell us what you think.
You know whose fan bases totally kill it for everybody? Like, I'm not crazy about the music of these bands, but like the Grateful Dead, Fish,
dude.
Dave
Fish,
Matthews
yeah.
Band, all
yeah.
those like
Yup.
they all
Fucking
like all those
hippies.
bands have like a couple good songs and
Yup.
shit here and there, especially the Grateful Dead.
Me and you were talking about that the other day.
But yeah, it's just those
And you-
fucking dumb.
and what sucks
you
is,
could even
too-
continue it into EDM, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and what
to
sucks too
continue
is
it.
like
Alright, I
I
can't stand-
like the Grateful Dead, but then I
Some
get
of it.
turned off by it by
Yeah.
people that really like
The
Grateful
Deadheads.
Dead. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. My dad's a deadhead. It's alright. But.
Yeah, but your dad's not a fucking douche.
Well, yeah, and he's not like totally obsessed with them. Like he likes a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even honestly call him a deadhead. He saw him live 3 times on
Yeah.
like regular ass tours.
Yeah,
He
your
didn't,
dad
like-
doesn't wear fucking bandanas and like have his hair long and fucking
Yeah.
avidly smokes weed like for everyone to see.
So
Yeah.
so funny story about the Grateful Dead and Fish. You remember in Office Space?
Yeah.
When they're asking, so what's your favorite song with Michael Bolton? And he had to sit there and he's like, I gotta tell him my favorite song.
all of them.
So I was trying to move into an Oxford house and they have to vote you in. And I got there and like 5 guys are interviewing me and they all look the same. They look like they were related. They looked so close to the same. They had fish tattoos and like,
Oh, God.
So like we talk and we're talking and like eventually
like
like
a
it got,
friend of the
yo,
devil.
it got to the end. It got to the end. Everything was going great. They were asking me like, when can you move in? Are you gonna have the rent? I'm like, everything's great. I'm getting out tomorrow. Blah blah blah. And at the end, it got all quiet. And I was getting ready to sign paperwork. And they were like, and also too, you like music and stuff, right? I can tell you have some tattoos, like Misfits. That's cool, I guess. How do you feel about Fish? And I'm like, not a big fucking fan of Fish, to be honest with you. Oh, dude, they didn't vote me in. It was like literally this close to me
That's
getting
so
into a place. I had to stay in the
He's
program for an extra week to find a new house because I refused to say that I listened to Fish.
You know
like
who else-
that's
They're just
how
like pacing
toxic
back
a
and
fan
forth the
base
room
is.
after you leave, like
Yo,
fucking idiots.
5
They're all
motherfuckers.
idiots. No one likes fish.
Yo, they
I
could
don't
have.
understand.
Someone could have came in there and pretty much said like, you know, I'm a convicted serial killer. I can't promise you that I won't kill you, but I do travel and follow Fish. They probably been like, come on in, bud.
I
you
was
know-
in prison for 30 years. I killed my father, chopped up his penis, and ate it. But
You know who else?
I love
Fish
fish.
fan. Yeah.
You know who
Huge
else
Fish
kind of
fan.
has a fan base like that too? Is 311.
Yeah.
I've never been a giant 311 fan.
I like 311 actually.
To be honest with you, like
They have a couple
we
of good
actually
songs.
talked about this because like that fan base alone, I kind of got turned off to because I brought it up to you and saying they kind of are like a Sublime ripoff to me, and you say you don't agree with that.
No,
but that's just when I was listening to it is what I came across at the time.
That's how I've always felt.
Yeah.
Not a Sublime ripoff at all.
That's how I feel about it.
Like, they have like a new metal thing going on, kind of too.
Yeah.
Like Down doesn't sound like Sublime.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
It just has that vibe, though.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to cash in on
sounds
it.
like Sublime.
Yeah.
Love Song sounds Sublime-ish.
Yeah.
Like they like reggae, but they're like Sublime in the sense that they had a bunch of different sounds going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you can talk about, too, I think the one most notorious fan base that probably catches the most heat because they're more known than the music is ICP.
Ooh, yeah. The
Juggalo
Juggalos.
fan
I don't even
base.
know one single ICP song.
I really don't either. And
I'll give it to Insane Clown Posse. There is a couple fucking tracks they have that I can get down with.
I've met
It's
people that I
horror
respect their
rap shit.
taste. That I've met people who I like know they like they're like they like music and they put effort into what they like look for
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
And they like Insane Clown Posse.
yeah.
They have a couple
Alright.
songs I can fuck with. Like
Doesn't
that
seem like it's my
horror
bag, that's
the
all
horror
for me.
rap thing's cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to compare it to like early Eminem and shit, but it's kind of in that vein.
Okay.
And like it's like cool, but I feel like those fans kind of ruin it. I will give it to them though, because recently, with all like the sex trafficking and like pedophilia shit that's been for some reason blowing up out of fucking nowhere, they actually fucking they just did an interview with like Chris Hansen and shit talking about that. Remember fucking we're gonna travel back here to season 1, that Davey Vanity. Remember him with the fucking alleged rape of the 14-year-old?
Yeah, that was like, well, that was actually the one story that kind of made us like, we're done with music news.
Yeah, exactly.
That story is so fucking.
But
The
they
dude
went
from Blood on the Dance Floor?
Yes,
Okay.
him.
Do you remember him? That's
Yeah.
not like.
But
outlandish.
they just did an interview with Chris Hansen, dude, and they're like, we don't stand for this kind of shit. Fucking our Juggalo fan base knows to kill on sight, like shit like that. Like they do a lot of like they do like a lot of like community work and shit, dude. They're like activists. They do a lot of fucking cool shit. Like it just sucks that their fan base kind of fucking diminishes everything they do, because it's like
Yeah.
Well,
you
and they
think
got
of the people that are their fans.
They got hit hard by the almighty fucking Slim Shady too in the early days.
Oh yeah.
He ripped
What
them
was the
a couple
song?
New ones, I forget. But
He fucking ripped them on one song, dude.
on a homophobic level.
I'm trying to remember the song
my
that he
bad.
fucking ripped them on.
It's from like Marshall Mathers album.
It is.
Or Eminem show.
No, it's not on Eminem show. It's
Nah,
on
It's probably on Marshall. Maybe.
it's on Marshall or Slim Shady. And
Remember Me.
that or I'm just Marshall Mathers.
The Marshall.
Just
Mathers.
a regular guy, don't know why.
Yeah, it
fuss
might be that
about me.
song,
That's
yeah.
what I think it is, because I think
Yeah.
he says like Shaggy, Too Dope, and fucking Violent J like fuck each other or something with clown makeup on. And I was like, whoa. But going back to what we were talking about earlier with like complete fucking douchebags and tools, who I feel like completely fucking ruins any kind of credibility that this artist could have is Five Finger Death Punch. Now, I don't think they're a bad band. They're made up of very good fucking musicians. And I'm not going to be like, oh, I listen to Five Finger Death Punch. I don't. But I don't think they kind of deserve all the hate that they do get. And the reason why they get all this haters because like the Kyles of the world that fucking have Monster Energy tattoos.
Yeah, I
and
put them
shit,
in the same
punch holes in
category as
drywall.
like Disturbed.
Yeah, they just have a fucking douchebag fan base, and
Disturbed,
it ruins the band.
Rammstein, like all
Exactly.
those types of like industrial or just heavy metal. But
Like, dude, you
heavier
think
than
about
metal.
Like, the main reason, before you even listen to a Five Finger Death Punch song, the reason you don't like them instantly is because fucking jerk-offs
Well,
like
they're
them.
right wing.
Actually-
too, right? Isn't Five Finger Death Punch like a right wing thing?
I don't know.
I remember. I don't know. Maybe it's just part of their fan base or something. But I thought they
Probably.
had that tag.
To be honest with you, it actually didn't come down to fan base. It came down to their cover of Bad Company. Because someone, and it's the same thing where I guess you could say fan base because the guy, it was the same thing with like the ghost thing. Like when we were talking about it, I was
This is
listening.
the same person.
No, it's a totally different
I was
person,
gonna
but just a totally like same situation. I was listening to a live version of Bad Company because it was just like a very cool version of like from the 70s, like a young Paul Rogers.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you like that song? Dude, you gotta hear this cover. And like I already knew the type of dude he was, but I like gave it a shot, and it was exactly what I thought was gonna happen. And I'm like, this just made it 10 times worse
It's like the
because it
Limp
came
Bizkit
from
cover
this guy.
Of
dude.
Behind Blue Eyes.
Or like the Disturbed
But
cover
worse.
of
That
Sound of
was a joke.
Silence, dude.
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
I heard the 10,000 Fist cover or Land of Confusion.
Land of
sorry.
Confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that's the thing too.
I was
Where-
like, wait, Phil Collins wouldn't have wrote a song called 10,000 Fists. I was like, wait, what was the song? Oh yeah, Land of Confusion.
But that's like a lot of like even Metallica, I think now, and like the early thrash bands, like there's only so many bands that could withstand the test of time and both having great fan bases as well as great music. Like Metallica, I think, is soured because they've gotten as popular as they have, so they reached a wider array of people that take them to a whole nother pedestal. Tool I bring up constantly because that's just like, I mean, that's like religion to people. Like if they find out you don't like Tool, it's like you don't listen to music, and I'm just, like that shit irritates the hell out of me. And then I talk about this all the time. It's also people that I know to listen to like other genres. Like I'll have people where, oh, you listen to jazz, and I'll be like, yeah, I like Miles Davis. I like John Coltrane. Like I know the typical cliche jazz albums because those are the ones that I know of and I listen to and I enjoy. But that's not a genre that I'm so familiar with that I'll branch out and listen to obscure shit. But I'll have somebody like, oh, you only listen to that? You don't really like jazz. And I'm like, it wasn't even about that. You know what I mean? Like very pretentious fucking attitudes depending on the genre taste as well. But that again, it's like religion. Some bands, they just press on you to a point where it makes it so much harder to even want to enjoy it.
Yeah. With going back to like the Insane Clown Posse thing too, I feel like another fan base that could actually be, considered the same would be the Maggots from Slipknot.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, fuck yeah. They're called the Maggots.
I hate
No, it's
Maggots.
called.
Dude, they make the trash can stink, and
I think it was like
I get home
never.
from work at like middle of the night, and like I'll take out the trash on like a wet night, and there's just fucking maggots all over, and I gotta fucking take it down the curb. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
no, but like
Nasty as shit.
I feel like the fans, the people that are fans of Insane Clown Posse are probably also fans of Slipknot, and that kind of what turns people
That's
off.
a top. Yeah,
It turns people off from Slipknot,
I'm very. Yeah,
and we've talked about it before. We all respect Slipknot to an extent. We all respect them to an extent because we can look past their fan bases. But however, initially, I remember why I never listened to Slipknot in the beginning. Because of a kid we went to school with. Dude, this fucking cocksucker wore a fucking Slipknot shirt, and he thought he was bad shit.
I tried to be cool with him.
That dude was a
amount
cunt.
of times, but he just was like always a douchebag.
one last one too, because I just thought of it was Linkin Park. I think the reason Linkin Park is like a tougher one is because it already had a very mainstream fan base of like this is the music of like aggression and like there was no disrespect to Chester, and it's a shame that I even have to go to that part because now that he's no longer with us, it's almost like insensitive if you say something negative about Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Because that fan base put him on such a pedestal that, I mean, you don't see anybody if they say I hate Alice in Chains, like the guy died of an overdose, so it's like, oh, it's not as big as a deal. But someone who kind of fit the culture of like the sensitivity and the mental illnesses and stuff fell down that path. And like I say, again, no disrespect to the guy, but that band in general, like nothing could bring me to like them the way that people are acting like I should like them.
I like Hybrid Theory, Meteor, but they fucking suck.
But like
after
I
that.
said, you
Yeah,
know what
I
I mean?
agree.
They were shitty
I
for
love-
like
But I'm saying-
60%
Hybrid
of their career.
But I'm saying you like Linkin Park, but I'm saying like a real fan of Linkin Park like has this expectation of how
Yes.
you should like them. You know
They
what
were
I mean?
garbage after Meteor, like Minutes to
yeah.
Midnight, Living Things,
Yeah.
whatever the other ones were called.
The Transformer soundtrack.
They were
But
just-
that's
I
like
hated
yeah,
the
that's
New
like a
Divide.
fan
Yeah.
base.
I used to hate
this new divide.
Yeah.
that song. Got played constantly.
Yeah, it's like a
Chester
fan base. I'm
redeemed
telling you,
himself.
if you're like insensitive, if you have like a derogatory remark
And it's-
against that band,
It's
which is,
funny
like, I
because none of
shouldn't
those Linkin
fucking feel
Park
that way.
songs really still get played on the radio.
No.
They haven't really held up.
However-
Even with him dying,
Yeah.
like, that's usually a huge boost.
Well, because before his death, he kind of he avenged his image and his I guess what's the word I'm looking for here? His credibility
What,
when he
the
was
STP
featured.
thing?
No, fuck STP when he was on Mark Morton's solo album. That
Oh
fucking
yeah,
song.
yeah, that was on that latest.
Yeah.
release,
Did you
too.
you never heard that? Did you?
Yeah, it's pretty
cross off.
I'm not gonna lie, you can't say fuck STP because that was kind of a cool move. Because I actually
Yeah.
like what they did with
Yeah,
him before.
that's
than
true.
Now.
I always felt like Chester sounded a lot like Scott
Yeah,
Weiland.
they had the
He had the
potential with
feel,
him.
yeah.
It'd
Well,
be like
there was a
if-
Rolling Stone interview that he did, like back when Linkin Park first came out. Someone asked him, like, if you
Yeah,
could sing
yeah,
for
yeah.
any band, who would it be? He said Stone Temple
That's
It'd
Pilots.
be like
pretty
if you
cool.
got Sean Morgan to do Nirvana reunion.
That would
Yeah.
be fucking
from
cool.
Cedar.
Why? Why
if
doesn't
you
Dave
wanted
get his
it
head
to
out
sound
of his
as
ass?
close to what it sounded like before, you would have to go with Sean Morgan probably.
Dave, get your head out of your ass. Sean Morgan's
At
probably
least on
willing and able.
vocals. You know what I mean? I don't know if he can hit the noise solos and shit like Cobain
No,
did.
dude, I saw them live. He can do it.
Yeah, okay. Well then, yeah, he's like, as far as sounding like the original, he's
I think he could do
the
it.
best choice.
Honestly, I think he could pull it off.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, I'm partial to
I'm
Seether.
not-
I like Seether.
I don't. Yeah, I like the first two just fine. They're not like my favorites or anything, but Disclaimer and Karma and Effect are alright.
I do want to say here because I just kind of drew like a comparison between a lot of these artists that we had talked about. A lot of them are new metal.
Yeah, shitty
Like,
fan
it's
bases
very
and
true.
new metal.
Yeah,
Well, we
like,
mentioned
think
like
about it.
Fish and Dave Matthews. We
Even
just
Tool
didn't dive
was
into
kind
them
of
now.
lumped in with new metal.
Yeah, but I
They're
mean,
not
like,
new
Limp
metal.
They got,
Bizkit,
they went
Linkin
prog
Park.
metal,
Yeah, prog metal.
You know,
Oh yeah. Well, they're
Limp
all
Bizkit,
part of
Linkin
that
Park,
early
fucking-
'90s into
yeah.
the 2000s blend of. Yeah,
Honestly, even some Deftones fans can get fucking annoying because they
Yeah.
Well,
they're
look where
another-
Deftones spawned from. That was like the whole Tool spawning.
Yeah.
Like that whole genre kind of came up.
a lot
for
of
that.
pretentious fans.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That like even Korn. You know, we keep talking about new metal bands. Like
Yeah.
people that listen to Korn, it's like a whole nother. You know, like when the Jenko Gene started and shit. You know, the Chain Wads. Like you weren't fucking.
Everyone getting long ass braids and dreads
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah, I mean, like that whole wave of music, in my opinion, was just kind of like we got to redo this. Like that was a really
Yeah.
sad end to what like Nirvana spawned in the '90s, and like that
Oh,
whole
yeah.
movement. Really sad end to that.
But yeah, I guess that kind of wraps this up. Then, I mean, I guess there really isn't like a let's pick one and
I would say, yeah,
Whatever.
Like we could come to a general consensus.
the fans of the late '90s, early 2000s.
What's like one
ruined anything.
band that, because of the fan base in particular, like you just like you won't listen to the band because of the fan base, not because of the music, just because of the people that listen to it.
Most of the bands like that I hate anyway.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But what's like one that you'll
Like
won't
Fall
give a
Out
chance?
Boy's one that I always like. They were from my time, kind of, and the like Fall Out Boy fans always annoyed the fuck out of
That's
me.
how I feel about Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I felt about it.
Black Veil Brides.
Ooh,
Now, here's my reasoning. Because I've seen like Guitar World interviews and shit with Jake Pitts and whatever the fucking other asshole's name is. They're insanely good guitar players. They're
weren't
fucking
you talking
ridiculous.
to a girl that was a fan of said band?
Oh yeah, like super fucking huge fan.
Yeah.
But like they were ridiculously good guitar players. I'm like, why are you in such a fucking shitty band? Like you are like really fucking good. Like what are you doing fucking around with this bullshit? And you got this fucking asshole fucking Andy Beersnack jumping off the stage and punching a girl in the face. And it's just like you're like wasting your time here. And like I feel like what kind of ruins that band is really him and the fact that their fan base is made up of 12-year-old and 14-year-old girls.
That make the band like totally lose credibility.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, some of the guitar work is really good, and like you can hear like the influences and like the shit that we listen to. Like these guys fucking drew influences from it. It's like, man, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, why? Come
Yeah.
on. But
Yeah, Limp Bizkit's mine because my track history says I should have been a fan of Limp Bizkit, and it never happened. Never came to fruition.
it's just your way or the highway, dude.
Yeah, dude, it just the age I was, the time that came out, the music I was already enjoying, that band should have fit the criteria at that point in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just fucking didn't.
More fine.
It's like I got a vaccine somehow, and the fucking starfish, bubble just like totally left my system and gone.
Chocolate starfish.
This time I'ma let it all out now.
So bad.
Keep on rolling, baby.
God.
Our group suggestion for this week is to check out the 2019 documentary David Foster, Off the Record. It was directed by Barry Average. Basically, synopsis is from child prodigy to iconic music producer, David Foster shares the stories behind his success with rare footage and interviews with his collaborators. There's a few interesting parts in this movie. I mean, I'm not going to give a bunch of it away, but there's one particular part where, you know, probably one of the most iconic songs of all time, fucking Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. That song was actually a demo. The final version is a demo. David Foster had sent it to fucking Clive Davis. I always forget Clive Davis's name. I don't know why. But he sent it to Clive Davis, and he's like, this is it. Like, this is perfect. Whatever. Don't fucking touch it. And apparently David Foster went fucking absolute ape shit on the fucking phone. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's actually that same interview. They just recycled it for this movie. And it had gotten to the point where Clive Davis was like, David, I'm going to hang up the phone before we both say something we're going to regret. And that version is the one that actually it went to number one.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, David Foster.
Dude, David Foster, if your artistic fucking vision was that goddamn compromised, just fucking throw your remix up on YouTube, dude. Get it out there.
Like, I do kind of wonder what his version would have sounded like.
Yeah.
Like obviously we know the real version and the final version, but I wonder like how much different it would have been if he had gotten his way.
Yeah.
I'm personally more partial to I Want to Dance with Somebody. I want to dance with somebody.
I like Whitney, I'm not going to lie.
So do I. You don't like this one?
Yeah, no, I do.
I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah, I hear that shit.
You know
like,
what's we talked about this the other day because like my one of my nephews is like into like just these like Disney movies where everything has a dance number.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like just totally about it for some reason. But like anytime I have dance music to just like for the kids to listen to, that's the fucking first song that comes to my mind every time. Like that song just never gets old. I don't know what
The
it
Hall
is.
and Oates one we were talking about earlier would be good.
Yeah, it is a good one too.
Yeah.
I got him in a Talking Heads, which was good.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I put on Stop Making Sense. He actually appreciated it. This is how quirky it is.
I saw that for the first time when I was like 8 or
Great.
9 or something.
Great
I
fucking
liked
set.
it.
Yeah.
So let's get into our personal suggestions for this week. I'm going to go first here. My suggestion for this week is to check out the song The Death of Us by Lamb of God on the Bill and Ted Face the Music soundtrack.
Excellent.
I'm taking the Ramones' 12th effort from 1992, Mondo Bizarro.
Yeah.
Recently picked this up on CD. I'm going to recommend Poison Heart. It's kind of funny with that song because Dee Dee like was fed up or whatever and quit the band like right before or he got kicked out or something. And typical Ramones drama, and he like a part of his like exit agreement or whatever was that he would write like 2 or 3 songs, and two of the 3 singles from that album were written by him, including Poison Heart. And it's like after he was like out of the band, it came out. It's with CJ Ramone.
That's
on
funny.
bass.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad album. There's a couple lows, like the last song on it's called Touring, and it's just a clear rip-off of Rock and Roll High School. It's
What
like
year did you say it
damn
came
near
out?
The same song, 1992.
It's just funny because the 12th album came out in 92.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How long they been
they
doing
were
shit.
they were rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They usually didn't take too long to put out albums.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 1992 was only 16 years after their first one or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so I mean, they were kind of on track with one a year almost. I mean, they're averaging more like 1.2 a year.
Like they're
And for that type of band, that's not totally far-fetched either.
No.
they're not as far down the road as like Tool is in their career. They're like half as far. Like Tool, like when did the first album come out? 93.
Yeah. Well,
So
what do you
that's
mean?
27 years ago. This was only 16.
Oh, you're
years
talking
deep
about
for
in
Ramones.
Yeah.
for comparison
Like,
of like time
that's-
frame.
Yeah, like the Ramones, I always felt like kind of broke up prematurely. Like I thought they could have had another comeback or something, in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they folded in like 95. Like their last album was literally called Adios Amigos.
It's not good. My pick is the 2001 album by Aesop Rock. It's called Labor Days. The song is called No Regrets.
Nice.
Nice.
Speaking of white rappers.
All right. So, if you're new to this podcast, then listen up closely. If you don't like what we have to say, if you have any suggestions, comments, criticisms, anything, please send it our way at ratmpodcast@gmail.com. If you're a band that would like to get spotlighted on our show, an artist that would like an interview, or just flat out want to talk to us, email us at ratmpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on social medias, facebook.com/ratmpodcast, Twitter and Instagram at ratmpodcast, or you can find us on our website at ratmpodcast.wixsite.com/ratmpodcast. It's just so funny, like, saying that.
You
'cause
should put
it's
that
like,
at the very end really fast, like in those car commercials with all that fine line.
ratmpodcast.com.
But, yeah, so it's good to come back. I'm happy that we're back here at season 3. I'm not gonna lie, I've been going fucking crazy with not doing this show.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of, not that it's like brought me purpose, but it's just kind of like with not doing episodes every week and like putting them out and shit, it's just like, what am I doing? I started watching House on Peacock. I'm on season 3 now.
Yeah. You like it?
Dude, I fucking love House. I've always loved that show.
Okay. Yeah.
But like I said, now since it's on a streaming service and I can watch it whenever I want, dude, I just fucking binge it.
It's funny. I loved Scrubs when I was a kid, and I watched an episode like a couple months ago, like casually, like it just ended up on, and I was like, "Damn, this show fucking sucked." Zach Braff is annoying as shit. They're all annoying in that show. It's like the big dickhead Dr. Cox is like the only one I like.
Going
funny.
back to fucking Office Space for a second.
Yeah.
He's just a good fucking act, or he's like a funny.
Yeah.
He's like a good like
Very
funny
intense.
character actor.
It's funny. He's like an asshole. He looks like Greg Kinnear. He's like goofy, but he's
Yeah.
just like an asshole.
But on that note, this is another episode of Rage Against the Mainstream podcast in the books. As always,
3E1.
S3E1 in the books. As always, I'm Bill.
I'm Connor.
Steve.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you for listening.